Hi guys, and welcome back to this tutorial. In the previous section we created a minimap which consisted in a new camera for which we used a specific layer enabling us to display only the items that we were interested in. In this section we're going to start to add non-player characters that will basically follow the actual player. So for that we're going to look at the first level, but we could have used the level 2 as well. Okay, so in the first level, I'm going to go switch back to the scene view here. In the first level, hang on a second there, I'm going to just switch back to my default layout. Okay, so again, in this level you should be able to see the first person controller. So again, it should be there. Okay, so this is my player. I'm going to switch to the Y view. This is my player, and what I will do is start to add the first person, not a first person controller, but an NPC that will follow the player. So at this stage I would assume that you have already downloaded the standard assets. So if you go to assets right there, and again you can just move this button there so that it's just easier to see everything. You should have something called standard assets. In the folder called standard asset you should have different folders, including the one called characters, and in characters you should have the one called third person character, and then prefabs. And in this prefab folder you will have something called AI third person controller. So this is basically an NPC, a non-player character that will be able to follow a specific target. So in our case what we will do is, to see things a little bit better, I'm going to just put on this light and take the AI third person controller and drag and drop it to this location here. Okay, I'm going to just zoom in on this character. You can see it there, and again rotate around it. So again, that's done. This is your character. So the very first thing that you need to do when you're using this character is to bake your scene and to specify what parts are walkable and what parts are not walkable. So for this purpose we're going to use a brand new window called navigation. So again, you go to window, go to AI, and then navigation, and that should be appearing right to the right of the inspector. The next thing is, I just want to make sure that the system knows exactly what is walkable and what is not walkable. So again, I'm going to take all the walls. In fact, I could just do a search and again select all these walls, and here make sure they are static, which means that they will not move over the time of the game, and they are not walkable because they are walls. Okay, not walkable, and again you can start to bake that to start with. All right, the second thing is I need the ground. So the ground is there. I need to make the ground walkable. So again, I'm going to go to object. It's going to be static because it will not move over time, and it's going to be walkable. Again, I'm going to go to bake and bake my scene. Okay, so as soon as you do that, you should see blue areas. So again, those are the walkable areas. And you can also see that here, this area is not walkable. So this is going to be the case for all the different walls. So we should be pretty much okay to go. The only difference is, or the only thing that we need to do is to specify a target for the first person controller or the third person controller or the NPC. And again, when you click on this object, in fact I could rename it NPC, it might be a bit easier. Okay, so if you click on this NPC, you should see a field called target. So again, this target is right there. So basically what you're doing here is we're expecting to have a target for the NPC to know exactly where it should go. So in this case, I'm gonna look for the first person controller here, take it and drag and drop it onto the field called target. So effectively what I'm saying here is that the target for the NPC is the first person controller. Okay, so again I'm going to switch back to my view here, and this is my first person controller right there. So as I start to play the scene, what I should do is I'm going to put the NPC relatively far away from the actual player, so that basically we should be able to see. I'm going to remove that. Yeah, and get this NPC a bit further away. Okay, so that you can see the navigation there. Okay, I'm going to play my scene. and switch back to the scene view whenever the scene starts. Okay, and what you can see is my NPC here is moving towards my character. Okay, so again you can see, yeah, it's going towards my character and eventually will catch up with me. If I go to the game view now, you can see that this NPC is right there. Okay, I could move around, it will actually follow me. Okay, so again this is working relatively well, and again this is all part of the standard asset that you will have downloaded earlier on. And again, you just need to make sure that first that you include this NPC, second that you bake your scene properly, that you specify what is walkable and not walkable, and third you need to specify a target for your NPC.